It's 10 o'clock. This is Fox 10 Talks, and here's your warning. In the city of Phoenix, the speed cams are live right now. All this unfolding over the course of, I guess the last 12 hours or so. And so you need to know where these cameras are. We've got a report coming up, and this is Fox 10 Talks. I'm Ron Hoon. We have a special guest today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike Pache.
Happy to be here, Ron.
You know Mike, of course, from his time on LiveNOW. It's just upstairs. We have so many studios here, you guys wouldn't believe it. Mike?
Yeah, I know.
You're upstairs.
We're upstairs.
Yes.
And, LiveNOW from Fox, always on, and it's been busy as of late.
Yes.
It's been busy.
Plenty to talk about with Mike today. Thanks for hanging out. And if you haven't said hi yet, we encourage you while you're watching on Fox 10 TV to join us on YouTube. You can watch on TV and just hop on your phone and join the friendliest chat online. Also today on Fox 10 Talks, the ticket prices for the D-backs Dodgers game over in LA have just set all-time records. Why is that? We're going to talk about it. Plus, there's a new 43-year study, one of the most exhaustive ever on drinking coffee. We're going to tell you what it reveals. And then how about this? A new study comes out and says, you know what? Don't use the snooze. It's not doing you any good. We'll tell you what they're thinking when it comes to all that. But let's get right into it right now here on Fox 10 Talks. Celeste will be by in a few minutes as well. But yeah, those speed cams are up. They are running, and our Irene Snyder was out there just a little while ago, in fact, standing right by one of them here in the city of Phoenix.
I am Jim. I've been a commercial...
hold on. Sorry. That one's on. Stand by. What is happening? Look. It's a streaming show. You know, Mike, every once in a while, you think you're hitting the right button. Yeah. I'm looking for SOT 1 Irene Look Live. Let me try that one more time.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Yeah, since we've been out here for the past few hours, you've seen the light flashing several times with drivers speeding past the area. So they're going to have to maybe pump those brakes if they want to avoid getting a citation in the near future. But the city put up 17 total speed monitoring cameras just last month. Officials say they're trying to get drivers to slow down in some of the most dangerous intersections. 9 of the camera locations will rotate every 6 months. The other 8 are placed in school zones and will move weekly during the school year. However, the future of these radar cameras is unclear. A bill making its way now through the Arizona legislature would leave it up to voters to decide if this tool should be banned. Republicans supporting the bill say photo radar undermines due process, although a Phoenix police commander told lawmakers the technology is needed as departments deal with officer shortages. The cameras still will be in place for now, but the good news is they said they won't be enforced for people who are just going 1 or 2 miles per hour over the speed limit. The camera is only activated at about 11 miles per hour over the speed limit. We'll send it back to you guys.
Okay, so Mike, I thought maybe one of our best moves would be to check in with Isabella.
Yes.
Over in the breaking newsroom because she's actually tracking. These cameras are going to be in a location now, I think, for the next 6 months. Although they're going to be moving the school cams around all the time.
Yeah, that's going to... And now it's finally implemented, and I was thinking about this, too. Maybe they should have had it during the spring break time, getting everybody in from all these spring training games.
Oh, yeah. Think of all the extra money
I know
they could have made. Hey, look at that. We got Celeste coming in here in the middle of our streaming show. Celeste, come and join. But right now, we're going to the BNR, as we call it. It's the breaking newsroom. Hi, Isabella. What are you seeing? I know you're trying to track where these are actually going to be located live today.
Yes, so I have 9 of those locations. As you mentioned, they're moving around, but right now we have active cameras at a couple of these locations, so pay attention. Thunderbird Road, 35th Avenue to Interstate 17, 32nd Street, Greenway Parkway to Bell Road, Thunderbird Road, Interstate 17 to 19th Avenue, Avenue, 7th Street on Thomas Road to Indian School Road, Indian School Road on 83rd Avenue to 75th Avenue, Camelback Road on 24th Street to 32nd Street, 51st Avenue to Van Buren Street to Interstate 10, Baseline Road, 16th Street to 24th Street, and finally Bell Road, which is Interstate 17 to 19th Avenue. That's what we're having right now.
You know, I think it's interesting that they're giving you kind of a range because really you need to slow down. It's not like right at an intersection. Give us one or two of those again where it's like on Bell Road or a couple of that you mentioned where you've got like 4 to 6 to maybe 8 blocks to really watch yourself.
Yes, so we have one on Bell Road, and that goes from Interstate 17 to 19th Avenue. So that's one of those. And then another one, we have Camelback Road going from 24th Street all the way to 32nd Street.
Okay. All right, Isabella, great info there. I mean, this is a great reason, I think, you guys, for why we have this streaming show. You know, we run this story, and we talk about that there are multiple locations, but we have so much news to kind of cram into. We maybe don't have 2 or 3, 4 extra minutes to actually give you all the different locations, but now you know.
Yeah, now beware. Now you know.
Yes.
You know?
Right. Mike just suggested, Celeste, before you got here, think how much more money these cities could have made if they put them all up right before spring training.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
That was a misstep there.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, hey, by the way, I do like to roll out the poll question as soon as we get going here on Fox 10 Talk. So here are your... Oh, look at this. These numbers still moving around. So Delta says to Congress, guess what? If you guys can't get the job done, we are revoking your perks, which, by the way, one of them is an escort that just gets you right up to the front of the TSA line and walks you through. Can you believe that?
Why?
Yeah.
Are they afraid to be accosted on their way? Like, why you voted this direction on this bill?
Yeah. Well, guess what? You know what? They work for us.
Yes, they do.
And from now, at least for the time being, they're going to have to stand in line like everybody else.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
So here are your options. 15% say, you know what, this is great. Take it away for good. Stand in line like the rest of us. But more than 80% are saying, okay, it's a start. But they also need to stay in D.C. till they get this solved. No vacations, because supposedly this is the pressure point. Now they finally are talking, according to the reports, because they've got an upcoming... By the way, you know, it'd be nice to get one day off for Easter. These guys get, Mike, a 2-week Easter vacation.
Look at that.
Do you think when they're in the middle of a government shutdown, they work less? Because if you think about it, they're not tackling any of the other bills. Like, quote unquote, they're working on the government shutdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they're waiting for everybody to come to the table.
Yeah.
So they're actually working less.
Well, there you go. By the way, 3% are saying, look, I support what's going on with this shutdown. A lot of people do want to see a lot of changes. And so they are saying, I don't think punishments are necessary. If you grab that QR code, anyhow, we'll get to the YouTube, we'll get to Dave, we'll do all of that. But the other big story this morning, which, by the way, Mike, any comments on that so far, on what's going on with this poll question?
Well, first off, with the 80%, I think this is going to be the turning point where once lawmakers are like, oh, no, I got to be in this line with everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay, let's finish it now. Let's get it done. Because they're going to want to go back to their priority and weaving in and out through TSA.
Who's the person that escorts them? You know, who's the escort service?
I would love to know. Actually, Celeste, look, I did print a lot of this off. Due to the impact on resources from the government shutdown, Delta will temporarily suspend specialty services to members of Congress. Oh, this is just so sad.
So they also fly Delta? That's a very pricey airline.
Well, Delta made a point of saying, look, you guys can't get your job done. Well, you're going to be at the back of the line with everybody else.
Let's put them on Spirit, or Frontier. You know what I mean? Like, let's do
Dave.
something.
What do you think's so funny about that now?
I
Come
think
on.
that's a great idea.
Okay.
You know, put them on Spirit or Frontier and make them pay for the backpack that they're bringing or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
New rule. If there's a government shutdown, you got to fly Spirit.
Thank you.
Right. Backpacks, Celeste. These guys have briefcases. I don't even know what the briefcase fee is.
I don't know. Or it's a MERS, something
Airline.
like that.
All right.
Who knows?
So let's talk about this other story that is so heartbreaking. It is I think it's sending shockwaves through the community. The headline is, "He shot my mom." This is a case that has people talking, and if you're not up to speed on it, here's our report.
Danielle Little was a mother of 7. Her family says her life wasn't easy.
She's been through drugs, she's went through all that.
But one thing kept her going.
She got clean and sober for all her other kids. She left her kids to death.
She was just a wonderful person.
But Monday morning, her family says her neighbor Daniel Rombach Jr. and the woman he lived with confronted Danielle and her husband over $100 they said she owed them for a minor car collision.
She backed into him on accident.
According to the police report, things escalated, and Rombach pulled out a gun, shooting Danielle.
And shot my mom in front of all the kids and everybody.
They just shot her for no reason.
Her whole body was bloody. Her mouth was coming out with blood.
Danielle died on the way to the hospital. Phoenix police found Rombach in his apartment and took him into custody.
I wake up every day. I go out there. I look over there and the scene just replays in my head over and over again. I'm so traumatized from it.
The loss has shattered Danielle's family.
I don't know, I think it's a dream, like, that I can't wake out of.
I miss her so much. She'll be forever missed. She'll be forever loved, forever remembered.
She leaves behind her husband and 7 children, including Effie Rose, who was born premature at just 27 weeks and is still in the NICU. Her family says all they want now is justice.
I hope he rots in hell. That's really all I have to say.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how, again, innocent till proven guilty in our court system.
Yeah.
But I don't know how your brain functions that over $100 dispute, you pull out a weapon. It's just, it's so sad.
It really is. And I think sometimes, too, we forget about how much it affects families.
Oh, sure.
Hearing her son speak, and I think it brings back the reality that all these things that we cover day to day happen to real people, and you can see how it is affecting him.
Hey, by the way, we asked Mike if he could stick around for the next segment, too.
Absolutely.
So somehow he's cleared his calendar.
Well, I think the people want Mike, and he's got to stay.
Here's what we're going to do. Mike, you can jump in as well. Look at this beautiful scene. Where do you suppose?
Are those the Tetons?
Yeah, by the way, no cheating today. Don't go to your Google camera and get the answer. We want to all just play along.
Yep.
Okay, so we have our mystery cam. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Mike, do you want to jump in first with a guess?
Yeah, I was going to go somewhere in Utah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Wyoming. Ron?
I like, well, I know where it is.
Oh, you do?
So I'm not going to say.
Oh, did you hike those?
Well, no, I haven't hiked those craggy peaks, but my niece went to school there. I don't want to give any more of a giveaway than that. But Brandon likes Idaho. I can see that for sure. That actually kind of looks like the Sawtooth Range in Idaho. I love the name of those mountains, the Sawtooth. Let's see, what else are we looking at here? Any other guesses? Looks like just everybody else is chatting about other topics.
Yeah, well, Jennifer just, she's hoping to get out of the hospital. So she says, Jennifer 22 says, my breathing crashed again Saturday night. They called me an ambulance. This is the first time I've gotten myself in ICU, though.
Okay, Jennifer, we're going to send prayers your way for sure.
Yes, we are. Louis Gonzalez says California.
Yeah, and I also see a California from Troy as well, who, by the way, he says it's sunny and cool in Camas this morning because he knows that some of my relatives used to live in Camas. It's right across the river from Portland, Oregon. It's a beautiful town. But Peggy and Coke.
Too bad they didn't keep the land.
Celeste, let me ask you one thing.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, all right?
Why is it in my family we have all these people with unusual names? Peggy and Coke.
Is Coke a nickname?
Probably. I doubt his parents named him like Coca-Cola.
Well, I think it's maybe because you're Irish, right?
Yes.
Okay, maybe it's an Irish and a Mexican thing because I have an uncle. His name is Gonge.
Okay, Gonge.
And Chewy and Gordo.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have...
Oh, that's fun. That is fun. We actually did one of our Hoon family reunions in Camas many years ago, but don't call it a reunion, call it a rehoonion.
Wow.
Oh, there you go. Did you get the shirts made on that one?
Actually, yes, I'll bring nice sometime. It'll crack you up. Celeste, what are you seeing?
Here is...
There we go.
Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Yes, there it is.
Home of NMSU, New Mexico State.
Wow. They do have those crazy mountains right on the it's near the border.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, near the border. I've driven through Las Cruces before.
Oh, have you?
It was on my way to El Paso.
This is a little bit of braggadocio now, Mike, but go ahead.
That was it. That's not a braggadocio. It's just a road trip. My aunt worked in the FBI for about 35
now that's
years.
The braggadocio.
Yeah, there you go.
She worked in the FBI, but here's what's not braggadocious is that they had to do a deep dive. Whenever you have somebody who works in the FBI, they have not just do a deep dive on you. They look at the rest of your family.
Really?
They have to make sure that like you aren't related to somebody who could potentially be a fugitive. So I'm clean, boys. I'm clean.
You had to go to New Mexico to get out of town? I'm trying to figure the tie into
She was based in El Paso.
Oh,
so I took one trip to El Paso that was her very first city. Then she worked in Yuma, worked at headquarters, Santa Monica. Anyways, I was there with her in El Paso.
And Crystal used to work in El Paso.
That's right.
We need to get some restaurant tips. Anyway, we better keep moving on, you guys, because 323 points to the upside is what's going on with the Dow. It has been as high as 500 points. The market, there are a lot of different reports. We're trying to sift through them. But one report is that the U.S. has officially developed a 15-point peace plan, not given directly to the Iranians, but through a third party that will pass it along, reportedly Pakistan. And that there's another report that Iran has its own kind of counter peace proposal. We're waiting to hear the deets on that. But the price of oil is down. It's been as low as $88 a barrel, which is getting back a little closer to where we were before this whole thing started. But as we check right now, it's still down about $2 a barrel to right about, like last I looked, like $89.90. Let's just check. Let's see. As we speak. Anyway, Mike, it seems like the market likes so $90.70. Seems like the market likes some of the sound of this.
Yeah, I mean, market wants assurances, and they don't like anything where there could be chaos in the region. But what I find fascinating about all this, we had oil prices spiking throughout all of this. Of course, stocks went down, but wasn't it interesting that metals were also taking a beating as well? Gold and silver. I would have thought, okay, in a time of war,
yes,
that that would be the one where people would gravitate towards.
Yeah.
But not so much this time around.
Like, it almost sounds like a setup for the interview we've got coming up in the next segment.
Oh, there you go.
We have a financial advice. We're going to ask him about that.
Yeah, ask about that.
Normally, in troubled times, you expect gold and all of that.
Yes.
To go to ride.
Okay. Mike raises the questions. We try to get you the answers. How about this, you guys? How about a live shot from Sky Harbor Airport? And one of they do say America's #1 friendliest airport. And the TSA lines are really not very bad today. We just checked. And 9 minutes at Terminal 3. And what else do we see?
We got 13 minutes at Checkpoint A, Terminal 4, and 8 minutes at Checkpoint C, Terminal 4. As you know, Checkpoint B and D are both closed.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're getting in that quick, these numbers too, when it comes to, think about this, this is not TSA pre. So TSA pre is you're probably just
zooming right in.
Zooming right in and out.
And you know who's benefiting the most from these shorter lines right now is the restaurants inside of the airports, because people are getting there probably really, really early, and then they're like, wow, I got 2 or 3 more hours to kill. Let's go to the restaurant, right? They're probably raking it in during all this.
Maybe you're buying one of those little small cactus to take to Aunt Betty, you know, at the Arizona boutique, and taking it with you on the plane.
Yeah.
They have to be raking it in.
Do you guys have a favorite restaurant at the at Sky Harbor, either Terminal 3 or Terminal 4?
What do you think?
Well, they changed so much, I feel like. You know, I haven't been to the airport in a good 2 years. So,
really?
So have they? Is there a lot of new options?
Yeah, there
Terminal
is.
4?
I think all the local places have spots in there, I feel like. I mean, Matt's Big Breakfast, their pancakes are amazing.
Really?
The waffle's incredible. They've got Shriner's bacon and sausage there. It's so good. I don't do it often, but once in a while. Plus, I think in Terminal 4 near the Southwest Gates, they may have a place to get a Matty Patty. Just saying. Mike knows what his wife wants.
I kind of like, there's a Panera in Terminal 3, because I'm more of a Terminal 3 guy. You guys are Terminal 4,
yes.
I think, right? So anyway, they got a lot of great options. It's really fantastic. But let's get on to the big airport story of the day is Delta saying, you know what? That's it. You are revoked. You can no longer get the privileges that we had extended to you, the, quote, red coat customer service for members of Congress that would include walking them up through the line so they wouldn't have to deal with everybody in line or just sort of standing there. And so it comes as the partial government shutdown with the Department of Homeland Security is causing all kind of problems at these airports. I heard this morning, you guys, I don't know what's going on in Houston. It's like I want to talk to who is our Fox version of Justin Lum at the Fox station in Houston. What's going on there? They were warning people today, be ready for a 4-hour delay. And we're talking about 9 minutes at Sky Harbor. What's the situation?
There must be so many more call-outs then, right?
I guess.
Houston must have people left and right, you know? Because I thought what I saw with Phoenix, we only get about 20% call out. That's the max. I mean, there's some cities that have like 50 to 60%.
Yeah, there was, and I think it depends on where the plane's coming from, maybe. Like if the plane is coming from a city that is having a lot of call outs, that flight's going to be delayed. You don't have traffic controllers or somebody else calling out. And then it has kind of a domino effect.
Yeah, sure.
Let's get to our poll question, you guys. One more update for you here. 15% of you say, great, take it away for good. Stand in line like the rest of us. 84% say it's a start, but they also have to stay there. No vacation time. I think people would be in such an uproar if they don't solve this and they take off on a 2-week vacation. I don't care if they're going to Cancun or sitting in their backyard.
Yeah, it just would not be the look, right? It would not be the look.
Gosh, not in the least. Celeste, what are you seeing on YouTube?
On YouTube, we have a lot of you voting. 1.6 thousand votes, and right now leading the way. Great, take it away for good. Stand in line like the rest of us. 85%. 14% say it's a start. They also need to stay in D.C. until they solve it. 1% said I support the shutdown and don't think punishments adjustments are necessary.
Okay, you know who else has some comments on this?
Big D.
What do you see, buddy?
So many good comments. You can comment on fox10phoenix.com/poll, as well as on YouTube. Richard Swartz, 5797, says it's a good way for them to mingle with constituents. Matt Murdoch, 5424, says if politicians have to wait in lines, there will be no lines soon enough. Here's Johnny, says also they should charge Congress double for the airfares every time they have a government shutdown. And Alan Core, 247, asks, why should members of Congress be treated any different than a regular citizen? Really interesting comments, guys. We love hearing from you. Keep it up.
I think that if somebody were to introduce a resolution, now hear me out on this, in Congress, and they want to get reelected for life, introduce a resolution that says, if any TSA agents are not being paid, you don't get your paycheck either.
Yeah,
there it
I
is.
agree.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that go too far? Or is that right, about right on target?
I think it's right on target.
Yeah. Okay. Mike.
Yes.
I know you're a big baseball fan.
Yeah.
Opening day. Here we go.
We can't wait.
Yes. But what about this story coming in from the D-backs and the Dodgers? There it is, Chavez Ravine. I have not been to a Dodgers game in L.A. since I was a kid. We were on a family vacay. I think I was about 10 or 11 years old. And my dad was a big baseball fan. We also went to Chicago one time and actually got to see Ernie Banks.
Ooh.
It was so great. But anyway, so the numbers are in, and here's what it looks like. They have set an all-time record for opening day ticket prices. If you wanted to hop a quick flight, good luck with that. Maybe just drive, get over to L.A. It's at Dodger Stadium, and, you know, everything's pricey in L.A., right? The average ticket price is basically $400.
Oh my God!
Dollars.
You imagine trying to?
It's nuts.
You can't even take a family. You would be rocked.
Gosh, you would. Yeah. Okay, I'm sure there'll be a few D-backs fans that'll represent. But by the way, if you want to wait till their home opener at the Chase in a few more days, $49.
There we go.
Life is more reasonable.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes they have that great deal with the D-backs where it's like $99 for the summer games, and then you get like a dog and a drink sometime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they make it so. Thank you, Derek Hall and the rest of the D-backs folks. It's a big deal.
Yes, thank you. We're back after a 2-minute break.
That was fun.
And we are back. We have live pictures coming in right now for you. Let me just show you. We are waiting to hear some reaction. Let's see. I am going to punch up ENG24. Here it is. Yeah, sorry, it's not a great camera shot right now, but that's courthouse in L.A. for the second time now in 2 days. Yesterday it was New Mexico. Today it's L.A.
Yeah.
These social media companies have been put on trial and have been found liable, and that's the verdict. I think a lot of court watchers were expecting that for some of these big platforms. This time around, it was Meta and Google.
Yeah.
And so we're expecting we may be hearing some comments from people from who were in the courtroom.
You know, if you have, throw this in the chat for a lot of you who are on YouTube with us, your thoughts on this. To give you a little bit of background, do you hold social media companies liable, if youngsters, teenagers, if, they're misusing social media or if it affects their mental health? So this whole thing started, there was a woman, a 20-year-old woman who said she became addicted to the apps at a young age because of their attention-grabbing design. The plaintiffs in the LA proceeding focused on platform design rather than on content. So probably focus a lot on like algorithm, how that works, what it feeds you.
How does that work?
It's people's a lot smarter than us, I think, right?
I guess so.
So it making it harder for the companies to avert liability. So instead of kind of putting it on the content creators, they kind of focused on the fact that there's an algorithm. We don't have any control over these images that you're looking at right now, but that ruling just came down about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, so that's a story that's breaking that we can cover for you here. Also, what the heck happened at Sloan Park yesterday? I was a little concerned about this, Celeste. I believe I have this right. I've gone to multiple sites. Yesterday's game at Sloan Park between the Cubs and the Yankees was an afternoon game. I thought surely they would move it tonight because you're going to have a sellout because the Yankees are in town playing the Cubs. That sounds like a World Series to me.
Yeah.
But 100 people, I believe, that's at least we hit 100. Okay, so several people, not 100, but the temps were at 100. But several people needed medical attention. Mesa Fire not saying how many people were treated, just that extra fire crews had to be called in to help because it was 100 degrees yesterday.
Well, it's for us who live here year round, I think 100 degrees sounds like, it's early for the 100, but we see a lot hotter than that in the summer.
Yeah.
But
that's a good point.
If people are visiting, it's just they may not be used to it.
If you're from Chicago or New York, you're not used to it. But we acclimatize to it.
We do.
Yesterday was 100. To me, it kind of felt like it was okay.
And if I'm going to be honest with you, I woke up this morning, stepped outside, and I thought, what a beautiful morning.
No, you thought there's a chill in the air.
There was, actually. I thought, my goodness, there's a light breeze. I'm sure a lot of folks, though, needed some extra Pedialyte.
Speaking of the air, we have dirty air here, and sometimes you say to yourself, well, wait a minute. Where's all this pollution come from? This is fascinating. The EPA has analyzed and ruled that several counties in Arizona are exempt from what would have been some much stricter air quality rules because emissions are coming from Mexico and as far away as, the amount of pollution in a place like China that literally comes across into the U.S., you can see where it can cause problems. And then also, what about fires? These wildfires that burn in another state or up in the North Country. And so it would have triggered a bunch of new restrictions around air quality. But this time around, that is not happening. So that's a big ruling. One other story, Celeste, what's happening in Tucson, in Pima County? Have you heard about this? There is a new investigation that's just being launched into the sheriff there, Sheriff Chris Nanos. Here's what happened as the meeting was going on yesterday.
Sheriff's well-documented history with the El Paso Police Department should have never granted him employment in the Pima County correctional system, much less the climb to sheriff.
We asked our members a clear question: confidence in Sheriff Nanos to continue in office, or no confidence and a call for his resignation. The verdict was unanimous: no confidence. He has lost the faith of his deputies and the community.
Well, when the story broke about Nancy Guthrie, you just, I guess you could never predict kind of the twists and turns that the case would take. But now it does look like he may be in some trouble. And the board voted yesterday to begin a full investigation into the sheriff's past. He's going to be required to provide under oath regarding his own work history, including his time reported allegations of misconduct from his time as a police officer in El Paso. I believe those go back several decades to when he was just beginning in his law enforcement career. So where that goes, we don't know, but obviously, Celeste, we will stay on top of it.
Well, I feel like a lot of people, they just want answers, and so they want to point the finger.
Yeah.
And, it's unfortunate what happened, and I can't even imagine the job that a sheriff has, including some of the deputies and FBI agents. So we'll follow that for you.
And think about how many people work here for the MCSO. The PCSO, the Pima County Sheriff's Office, is a big one.
It is.
And so, what can we learn about what's going on there? There's much more to come. Hey, this is Adam Brooks. Hello, Adam.
Hey, Adam. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Adam's a financial expert, and we're all dealing with the price of gas now. We're waiting for the price of groceries to drop, and I saw here that one of the topics that I feel like would be right on point for people is how should they be adjusting either their spending or their investing, if they even have a dollar to put into any kind of investment, or their emergency savings? I know you've been looking at that. What's your take on this?
Yeah, well, thank you. It's a great question. I'm really happy to be here.
Lean in for me if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
There you go.
Like a big radio show,
Adam.
All right.
Take it away.
I want to hear you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
The first thing I would say is what you want to do is not repair your roof in the middle of a hurricane. So first and foremost, we want to get through the current environment and then take steps to address the needs long term. But because we are in a period of increased volatility, there are some things that you can do. We tell our team staying the course is not a satisfying answer. So things like rebalancing the portfolio, harvesting losses if appropriate, making some game plans to reposition the portfolio for the long term, and making sure that your investments align with your long-term plan are really the things that we want to focus on first and foremost. The bottom line, I would say, is don't make knee-jerk reactions during times of crisis like this.
I think it's hard for people to even put food on the table right now, right? Or fill up their gas tank. Do you have any bits of advice for families who are saying, this is really difficult for me just to make it day to day, let alone save a little?
Yeah, that's a great question as well. My best recommendation on that is to adhere to a policy of paying yourself first. The most important expense that you should view is your own well-being. And the reality is that no one else is going to take care of it for you. So by allocating whatever sources of income you have to savings of some sort right off the tap, your other expenses will adjust. I know it's hard. The amount is less important than the act. Just start putting money away. Get in the game.
So you kind of believe in this concept of buckets? I mean, I've heard some people talk about that. What's your take on it?
Sure. Yeah. So the concept of buckets is that you have a portion of your savings that are geared towards emergency funds, a portion that may be geared for your intermediate term investments, and there may be a portion that are geared for your longer term retirement assets. And the main priority is just allocating a portion of the income, whatever amount you can do. The recommendation is that it's no less than 10% of your gross income, but whatever you can do
for savings,
for savings, yeah, exactly,
as some sort of emergency fund.
Yeah,
this would be the perfect
or just
time,
total savings,
right?
Yeah.
So you're talking even maybe something like $5.
$5 is better than nothing.
And it makes you feel good about putting something away, even though it's $5.
Exactly.
You know,
and any amount will help. And what you'll find is just like exercising or something else. The more you do it, the more you'll want to do it. You'll see that there's some progress being made.
Payoff.
There's a payoff, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, I had 0, and now I have 1,000, and I want to even increase the amounts going forward.
And I'm happy you mentioned that, because Troy in the chat said maybe run outside versus driving to the gym. So maybe you call the gym and say, I want to put it on hold or something. Is that possible? And then you're not spending the gas, driving there either.
There's a lot of creative ways to cut spending, and what you find is by allocating the money right off the top, whatever you have left will be, you'll figure it out.
What are some specific ways that you think work pretty well?
Yeah, so as it relates to spending, one of the first things that we tell clients is track your spending. First and foremost, you have to know where it goes. Then you can start making some more informed decisions around how it aligns with your priorities. As a quick example, when I was first married, my wife and I would love to go out for ice cream, and we would go out 4 or 5 times a week. We realized that we were spending close to $1,000 a year on ice cream. We needed to make other decisions.
Haagen-Dazs is pricey.
Well, I was going to say, if you go to DQ, and you use the app,
right? Well, that's
savings.
That's true. But my point is that I wasn't even aware that we were spending that kind of money until I started tracking it. Yeah. So that's number one. Just track your expenses. Number two is give yourself a 24 to 48 hour wait on any expense that might be over some threshold, whether it's $50 or $100, because a lot of us make impulsive decisions that can take away from the longer term goals that we may have.
Yeah, those are two really good ideas, because it's the little things, right, that add up over time.
Absolutely. It's the long game.
And I like the fact that you're a holistic financial planning and investment management guy, a certified financial planner, because you look at the whole picture.
Yeah. At Able Financial Group, we're looking at all aspects of clients' balance sheets, not just the asset side, the liability side, their short-term savings, their long-term savings, and we're helping clients navigate their goals.
Okay. Well, we really appreciate your time, and I'm motivated to look for ways to save just a little bit more.
Me too. Great ideas.
Every day, I think you could look at that budget and come up with a few ways to maybe make a few cuts, at least with what we're dealing with right now. Adam, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Nice
okay, we have plenty we're watching. Oh, by the way, we've got another beautiful cam. We understand the news conference is getting going in Washington, so it's all coming up. Okay, everybody, welcome back. The hardest working woman in the newsroom, ladies and gentlemen, joins us now. She was reporting earlier from the BNR.
Breaking newsroom.
Breaking newsroom.
Yes.
Now she joins us here.
Bells.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Good to see you both.
So let's get right into it, you guys.
Let's do it.
I happen to love this idea.
Okay.
It is, if you haven't heard about it, but you probably have by now, but United is about to roll out what they call, ready? Here we go. I'm going to roll it on VO9. The relax row. Goodbye to the armrest. Do the relax row, and you can, if you want to buy all 3 seats, pay for it. But it's in coach, so it's still way less than buying something in first class. And then they give you the bedding. And, it truly is I think it's going to kind of revolutionize the business. Right now, I don't think the airlines let you buy. Let's say that you're claustrophobic or whatever. You already know you're in row 29. I don't think they let you buy the middle seat because it would have to go to somebody else. Right? Can you buy 2 seats? I don't know.
I'm sure if you tell them you need it for some reason, you might be able to.
I need a breathing room or something like that.
I mean, if you're willing to pay for it, they're not going to turn away the money.
Right, maybe so. But anyway, here's the way it's going to work is they basically are going to create a row for you. I really love the video they produce because look, you can stretch out if you want to sleep if it's long, or like mingle where you saw the boyfriend girlfriend or husband wife, or what about you're traveling with your kids, they'd be a lot less jumpy, comfortable, shall we say?
Yeah.
If you bought all 3 seats, I think even if it's just like you and your significant other, and you paid for the middle seat for an extra $200, $300, whatever it might be, then you can stretch out in comfort.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some spooning involved somewhere.
Spooning?
Something naughty.
This is going to be a little interesting. 95.
Bella says nothing naughty.
95% of the people are going to use it for families and your kiddos.
What about the other 5%? Celeste, what are you saying?
Yeah, they're going to be spooning. They're going to be like cuddling and stuff, and it's going to. I mean, it could get inappropriate. Who knows if it's a red eye flight?
Sure.
The lights are turned off.
Thank you, Bells.
Okay.
Bells is right there with me.
Stewardesses aren't walking through.
Thank you.
The wife is spooning with her husband.
Yes.
She decides to give him a little peck on the cheek, and he responds with another kiss himself.
Well, Ron,
what's wrong with this?
Ron, you have 3 kids. You know how the whole thing works. So I think it's a great idea for families. I think it could get a little spicy when it comes to just,
Well, if we can behave ourselves, United won't have to cancel it. If we don't behave ourselves, you know how we'll know?
They cancel it.
Without even announcing who did what. They'll say, well, that concept is over.
We're revoking this. Never mind.
Here's Johnny says, new meaning from Mile High Club. LOL.
Oh, boy.
I think there is. I think there's but I think it comes with a good, mission, like to help families, right? I mean,
if you're doing a very long flight, maybe an international flight, sitting in a chair for 15 hours is so painful. But if you can lay, that's a great idea.
One time, Renee and I flew on a nonstop red eye from here to New York City. And I tried my best to sleep because it seemed like it left at like 10 o'clock at night and 3-hour time change. By the time you landed there, it was like 5 in the morning or something like that, roughly. I don't think maybe I nodded off for 5 or 10. It's just hard to sleep when you're sitting with your knees right up against the seat in front of you.
Yeah.
It's just tough. So here's my question. Will this be copied by all the other airlines or not? What do you think?
I think they're going to have a trial phase because, again, if things get a little naughty and... I don't think other airlines are going to want to deal with that. So I think depending on if this is a success.
If it works.
But if it's not, I don't think so.
Yeah. Like kiddos, like up until the age of 2, your child can sit on your lap, but other than that, I think, that's when I think it works. Like when you're on a red eye flight with your kiddos, that's perfect.
It really is.
But if you're on a red eye flight with your, +1, your boo, it could turn into something totally different.
Okay.
So I think, maybe United will come out with all adult flights, just like those all adult cruises.
It's like welcome aboard. It's almost like sandals in the air.
Yeah. Cruises. We have an all adult flight for you tonight.
Oh, geez.
Well, who knows? Who knows where it's going to happen? I think it's a great idea. We'll see if the other airlines copy it. I think Bella's right on. There needs to be a
trial period.
Should I say a feeling out period? I don't know. Anyway, let's go on to our next story. Celeste, your story of the day today was just fantastic. So apparently, some people, even though they've broken up, continue to use their ex password for like their streaming.
Yeah. So you're dating someone, Bells, right? You guys are together, and then you break up, but you still have their Netflix or Amazon or Hulu password in your Apple TV or on your smart TV, and you continue to use it even after you've broken up. Thoughts on that?
I've never been in this situation, but I will say I did use a friend of mine's Netflix for like 4 years, and I haven't spoken to her in like 4 years.
For 4 years you did?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Lauren Johnson, I'm so sorry. Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Now the apology.
It was more so I had the login info saved that she did give
That's
to me.
what it is, really.
Yeah.
It's already saved in there.
Right. And each time I turned Netflix on, it just automatically logged me into that one. So
Right. Who wants to go through all the rigmarole?
And pain and all that other stuff.
Right.
And I think it might be, and when I first read the story, I thought it might be their way of like sticking it to the man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you broke up with me. I'm going to continue to use this.
Right.
But at some point, Netflix and the other streaming channels, they actually cancel because they have a limit now.
Yes. It's like, oh, you're not in the same household.
Right.
They're just being stingy.
Speaking of, I just saw that HBO is going to roll out. I don't have HBO. I know a lot of people do. They're going to roll out Harry Potter, the TV series.
Oh, okay.
Now, you would think that's going to go over pretty well, right?
Absolutely. There's Harry Potter Land. It was a Disney World or Disneyland or something. Yeah, I think that's going to be very popular.
Okay, let's get to this coffee study because it's one of the stories we talked about a little bit earlier this morning. And here it is, you guys, in a nutshell. This is a 43-year-long study. And Celeste, you're a coffee drinker.
Yes, I am.
Bella, are you as well?
Yes, an addict.
Oh,
A
you're
coffee addict.
Like how many cups a day will you have?
Like 3.
Have you ever gone to Starbucks more than once in a day?
Yes.
Wow.
When I did the morning shift in Tucson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the study. It says that drinking 2 to maybe 3 cups of caffeinated coffee, this doesn't count for the decaf apparently, is associated with an 18% lower risk of dementia. The study found that coffee drinkers reported fewer cognitive declines. Do you find that when you're on the caffeine, could you imagine trying to do this morning show? Now, I don't drink coffee. I drink this thing called sparkling ice, but it has no aspartame. So I think I'm in good shape.
Does it have caffeine?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So, I feel like you operate a little bit higher level if you had that caffeine in the morning. Celeste, do you drink it when you're reading your Bible at 3 a.m. or when do you?
I do.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. I do a first cup of coffee when I wake up and I'm doing my readings, and then before I head out the door, I do a protein coffee.
Ooh.
I do a vanilla protein mixed into like a couple shots of like this instant espresso that I make.
Okay.
I rarely buy coffee out. It's just so pricey.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Did it help you get through Job a little bit faster?
Job?
Yeah, you were reading Job a few months back.
I got through Job fast because I didn't want to learn no more about Job. That poor guy went through a lot, but I was like, how fast can I get through this book?
He is the tough luck guy of the Bible, that's for sure. All right, so how about this for a headline, you guys? Don't use the snooze. Health experts are out today with a new study. They say if you keep hitting the snooze button, you're decreasing the overall amount of REM sleep you're going to get each night. Now, I believe this.
I do too.
Because I won't call her out, but I know we have one employee here who tells me she hits her snooze button like 4 or 5 times before getting up. I think that's cutting into, especially if it's about 9 or 10 minutes between, you're cutting into what could be a whole hour of sleep time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you both snooze button people, though?
I am.
Yes.
I am.
I may have her beat by like 6 or 7.
Really?
I had 9 alarms.
Seriously? How did I never know this about you?
But I think it's because I just get nervous about waking up in the morning still all these years. But I will say that after, even on my weekends, I end up waking up early. Don't you, Ron?
Yeah. Oh, I get up at 5 on the weekends. I actually love those 2 or 3 hours. When
Quiet.
You feel like you're getting a jump on the world. By the way, so Joseph is saying iced coffee here. Craven is saying coffee is not for me. Let's see. What other kind of...
I like what Joseph Hawk says.
Yes.
Give me an IV of coffee 24/7. I'm good. I am with you.
Sure.
There is a website that I used to use. I don't use it as much, but it's called sleepytime.cc.
Okay.
And if you put in the time that you want to wake, like Bells, what time do you want to wake up every morning?
I'm bad because I have my alarm at 6:30 and I snooze it until 7:50, and then I get out of bed.
7:15 or 7:50?
50.
You snooze for an hour and 20 minutes?
So this is if
I need to work on that.
If you want to wake up at 6:30 a.m., these are the times. The website gives you time so that you don't wake up in the middle of REM sleep.
Oh,
this is good.
So I used to use this when I used to wake up at 1:45, Ron, to come in and work at 4.
Right.
So it's 6:30 a.m. If you want to wake up at that time, then you should go to bed at 9:15 or 10:45 at the latest. 9:15 gives you 6 cycles of REM. 10:45 gives you 5 cycles of REM. And so it depends. You can go back to the website and put in any time that you want
Sleepy time.
Yeah, sleepytime.cc. I used to use it. And if you put in the time you want to wake up, for all of you watching on YouTube, then it'll tell you what time you need to go to sleep.
By the way, you guys, speaking of watching on YouTube, I'm going to pop up ENG 23 right now. We are monitoring. There is a White House news conference underway. Let's listen in for just a minute. And by the way, you can find this on our other YouTube channel. Let's see what is on people's minds before we go to break.
Through the Strait of Hormuz freely?
It's
a very good question, Ed. I don't have a specific timeline for you today, but it's obviously something the administration is working towards as quickly as we can. And with respect to oil, as you know, the administration has taken a number of actions to stabilize the markets. We directed the U.S. DFC to offer reasonably priced political risk insurance for takers through the Strait. We issued that temporary waiver to allow countries to purchase sanctioned Russian oil to alleviate global pressures. We're working with the IEA to coordinate.
We'll take a break. Be right back.
We issued that 60-day Jones Day Act waiver. And then just today, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin admitted in consultation.
All right, good Wednesday morning, everybody. Danielle,
hey,
welcome back.
Hey, thank you.
Had a couple days on vacation.
Yep.
Now you're filling in on the stream.
Good times.
We appreciate
They just
you.
throw you right back in the saddle.
Yeah, there's no downtime.
You took
for
a break. Now get back to work.
Well, we're
But I love
so glad that you were hanging out with us. We are talking. We have a busy show.
Yes.
First of all,
Lots of stuff going on.
We're talking finances this morning, and we're going to start with a live look this morning from the stock market. This is how it's looking right now. Pretty good day. We're seeing the stock or the Dow right now up about 340 points, currently sitting at 46,468. But if you remember, just a few weeks ago, we were all kind of celebrating when the Dow hit that 50,000, the historic 50,000 level. Everybody was so excited. And then, unfortunately, we started to see a tumble with the war in Iran. And so now we're bringing in our financial expert. Should we be worrying with how volatile the stock market has been? So we have Mr. Tom Connelly joining us here this morning. Mr. Connelly, thanks for coming in.
No, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
How do you feel?
How do I feel?
Yeah, you're in the thick of things right now. What's the outlook?
Well, I've been doing this a while, so this is kind of a love tap. It's market's down a bit, but not tremendously so. I think at the peak decline, from its peak, it was down like 6.8%. Now it's like, what, 3.5-ish? So, from a historical perspective, it's a love tap. Normally, you'd expect to have, in any given year, maybe 2, even 3 times, you'll experience a 5% decline. And even a 10% decline every year or two is normal. So this is nothing out of the ordinary. And with respect to the current events, Iran, if you go back and look at history, and I'm on geopolitical events ranging from Pearl Harbor through today, it's really astonishing to me how little market impact those events have had. Most of them are 6% or less. The vast majority are much less and have recovered very quickly. Even Pearl Harbor, I mean, we were attacked, right? And the outcome wasn't very good. It took about 5-6 months. The market was down just under 20, and it recovered in less than a year during wartime. And so the geopolitical impacts on the marketplace historically have really not moved it that much. There have been like 3 double-digit moves: Iraq invading Kuwait, Pearl Harbor, and then 9/11, and they all recovered within a 365-day period from the inception. So I'm not terribly worried right now.
When folks, though, I guess, look at their 401ks or any of their retirement accounts, and you start to see that red number, I mean, that day after day after day, I mean, that can also kind of, I guess, you mentioned it's okay, but for the layman's who maybe are first-time investors or just getting into it and they see those red numbers, they probably get a little nervous. And I guess my biggest question for you is, how do you kind of tell people to just ride it out, that everything will be okay, because historically it has been?
Right. Well, the historical perspective is really important because, as I mentioned, in any given year, you get 2 or 3 declines of 5% at some point in time during a year, or even every 1 or 2 years, a 10% decline. So it's perfectly normal. Markets are volatile by their nature, but they're also long-dated assets. So if
when you say that, exactly explain what that means. A long-dated asset, like it's not meant to be a surefire, quick thing.
Right. You're typically holding an asset like a stock or a piece of real estate with assuming you paid a reasonable price for it, qualify that. But you're usually holding it to take care of something in the distant future, a spending need or a bequest or a charitable bequest. And these assets typically have higher rates of return due to the underlying growth in earnings, dividends, or interest than, say, cash in a bank or a treasury bill, which just pay a low rate of interest. But part of that price is a little bit of volatility on the way, because the market is very emotional and dramatic. It reprices these assets moment by moment, sometimes emotionally, and so you can get the drama in the red. But over the long run, if you keep your eye on the ball, and the ball is the underlying earnings or rents, and they're good, you didn't pay too much, and they're going up, that's what you really need to pay attention to, and the momentary dislocations are unimportant.
What would you tell people right now? So say if you maybe have stocks right now, is now a good time to either bump them up, or if you're going to just get into the market, should we wait a little bit? What should we do right now?
Well, I don't think we know enough to make that judgment right now. So I would be taking a look primarily at what's the money for. Is my goal, is it like retirement or a goal way out in the future? What's happening now, short-term events, which historically have had very little consequence on long-run market returns. I would be putting the money in whatever my plan was before this event. I would just keep doing that. I would perhaps spread it out a little bit, though. I wouldn't say concentrate just on U.S. stocks. I might be looking at abroad for some of those markets. The U.S. stock market is 65-70% of the world stock market, so you could start there. Mm-hmm. Those markets are a little less, quite a bit less expensive than ours, so that would be some diversification. If I'm worried about stocks in general, I could put some other assets in. I like inflation-protected treasury bonds right now, and IRA or qualified accounts where you don't have to pay taxes on them.
Are those the same as CDs or no?
No, they're a type of treasury bond, so it's got a U.S. government guarantee on principal, and the interest amount that you receive each year is you get a base rate, and then it's adjusted upward for inflation. So if you're worried about inflation or rates going up due to inflation, they're a wonderful counterpart in the current environment to stocks. I'd put them in an IRA or a 401k where I don't have to pay tax because it's all ordinary income. But would be wonderful diversifiers at this point.
I was going to ask you too, and I've heard it before. People saying when the stock market is down, think of it as you're buying something at discount. Is that the right way of kind of training your brain?
Yeah, that's a good base rule to have. Back in the day, over history, when we would say those types of things, it would generally be for a more meaningful decline. The market's on sale, you'd be talking about a bear market, which is defined 20% or more. So this, 6% decline wouldn't
constitute that.
Yeah, I wouldn't back up the truck. If that's what you mean. Okay. But I would just continue on what I was doing. This would not be something that would cause me to alter my plans in the long run. And when I was growing up, the parents would say, "Stop crying, or I'll give you something to cry about." So that giving something to cry about is like a 20% decline or more. Then I might start having a conversation like that. There might be an opportunity when everyone else is leaving, fleeing in terror. But this is not that time.
Mr. Connelly, if folks have more questions or they want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
They can go to our website, VersantCM. .com. Okay. And they can send an email to myself or one of our investment staff or our planning staff. My email there is tomc@versantcm.com.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Well, Tom, we appreciate
Thank you so much.
Wealth of knowledge. Get it? Wealth of knowledge.
That was pretty bad.
I won't quit my day job, Tom. I promise.
We hope you don't, Ty. No. We hope you don't.
All right, let's move on to our next guest here. We are speaking with Angie Grubb, one of our friends up in the high country that works for Snowbowl. Good morning, Angie. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. All right, let's talk about this because the snow. Where's it going? What's happening up there?
Totally. Yeah. It's obviously, I think you guys are all obviously probably feeling it down there in Phoenix, just like we're feeling it up here in Flagstaff a little bit. But things are starting to warm up here in the Southwest along the West Coast. But we are still skiing and snowboarding daily up here at Snowbowl. And so believe it or not, we do still have snow up here on the mountain and we're still having fun.
I love it. Let's talk about, though, if folks do want to come up, I did read that you guys don't have the kind of the beginner terrain right now. Is that correct?
The Bunny Hill.
The Bunny Hill.
Yeah.
Where Danielle likes to spend her time.
I actually do.
There's no worries with that, right? But yes, all of our beginner terrain is closed for the season, but we do still have our intermediate and our advanced terrain open, and so we're still operating our Grand Canyon Express chairlift as well as the Arizona Gondola, and so those lifts are still servicing 17 trails daily from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
And wasn't it last year that you guys had such...
It was like a record
my
year,
goodness.
wasn't it?
And then this year, it just kind of seems like a roller coaster for you guys. It was, not a lot of snow. Then boom, we had that big storm. Everybody headed up there. And now, are you guys still making snow, or what does the situation look like there?
Yeah, so I mean, good question there for sure. Coming off of last season was our most historic season ever. We opened up our earliest opening ever on November 8th, 2024, and we stayed open all the way until June 1st, 2025. Wow. And that was actually our second year doing that, staying open until June 1st. This year, we opened up on November 20th, one day early, and we've stayed open every single day since then, with really great conditions, right? It takes a lot of work. Snowmaking has ended for the season, but our groomers are still doing a lot of work to use those snowcats to move the snow to exactly where it needs to be and keep that snow maintained and open for people to enjoy.
When do you guys typically...
I pushed the wrong button. Hold on. I apologize.
Speaking of a heat wave.
Yeah, look, it's so hot downtown.
Downtown Phoenix.
There you go. I apologize. Sorry about that.
When does the season typically close? Or what is your guys' official stop date?
Yeah, here at Snowbowl, we aim to be open as long as possible every single season. And so it's not necessarily like we set a closing date every single season. Usually what we do is we'll sell tickets from the very first time that we put tickets on sale, right? All the way back in the summer. We will sell them all the way through the end of April. And then we will just extend our season as we're able to. For the past couple years, we've stayed open pretty much until May, the whole time that I've been at Snowbowl for the last 7 to 8 years. And so, yeah, we stayed open until June 1st the last 2 years. Before that, it was Memorial Day weekend. Before that, I want to say it was, the middle of May. And so typically our season as of now is running until, a safe spot is typically May, but we're always going to aim for the longest season that we can.
And unfortunately, you're just kind of at the mercy of Mother Nature, aren't you?
We sure are. And it's, it's interesting. A lot of ski resorts across the country are obviously feeling this. I mean, we even opened before any ski resort in Utah this year.
Yeah. Angie, we have to take a quick
thing to say.
We have to take a quick break. Stay with us. 2-minute break, and we'll have much more with Angie up Snowbowl. We'll be right back.
stand by. We have side conversations going here.
Angie, I was going to ask you, because we were just talking about it, you guys are really at the mercy of Mother Nature. Unfortunately, she dealt us a hot blow over these past couple of weeks. But how do you guys kind of determine when, like, enough's enough, we got to pack it in?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, obviously, guest experience and safety is always our top priority, right? And so there are a lot of factors that go into it. But one thing that we do at Snowbowl that is a little bit different than some of the other resorts across the country is we stay open as long as we possibly can, right? And with that comes with using our snowcats to actually push snow into areas that we can still maintain. And so as you can tell, last week our beginner terrain closed. We pushed most of that snow up into our intermediate terrain. And then once our intermediate terrains closes, most likely after this weekend, we'll be pushing that all up into our advanced terrain to just continue to maintain that base as much as possible.
And with our triple-digit temps here, we're melting here in Phoenix a little bit earlier than expected. I'm sure a lot of people will still want to go up there for the relief. Prices and also your hours of operation, what days can we come?
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's one thing we are feeling the warmth, but we know you all are feeling it even more. And so, coming up to Snowbowl, we are still open daily, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., weather permitting. And so it is a really great way to come and beat the heat and still get some turns in, right? Winter and the ski season is not over yet. It's not over till it's over is what I like to say. And so we are still open daily and we will stay open as long as possible. Right now we are aiming for April 12th, but that could be a few days shorter. We will, of course, announce that if that is the case, or it could even be a few days longer, right? It really just depends on what Mother Nature is going to do. We are seeing a chance of snowfall next week. And so hopefully that delivers a little bit more that's even forecasted. But yeah, open daily, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. as of now.
Yeah, go down the slopes in a bathing suit.
Yeah, we'll definitely put that SPF on if you do that, right? You don't want to
hit it in a bikini.
I love it. We see people, people are breaking out the board shorts, breaking out their tank tops, and so we welcome all of that.
But take it from me, I grew up in Park City. Going down, this is like spring skiing is when you get like the worst burns of your life. So definitely, you got the goggle tan for the rest of the year.
Yep,
rough stuff.
100%. It is so important to wear that sunscreen as well as drink that water. I mean, we're up at elevation, and which is great because it offers cool temperatures, right? And the snow is sticking around up at those upper elevations. But water and sunscreen are definitely still important. So
I was gonna look at looks like you're doing pretty good with that SPF, Angie. I don't see a goggle tan.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I try to do well with the sunscreen.
Angie, we appreciate it. Keep us posted, will ya?
Yeah, I sure will, of course. We will, of course, announce everything across our social media, our website at snowbowl.ski for any changes. But like I said, still open as of now. And so it's not over till it's over, and people should come get those last turns in.
We'll hope for a little bit of snow next week, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Angie. Have a good one.
Thanks, Angie.
Thank you as well.
All right, we're going to turn next to our next guest. I told you, this was a jam-packed show.
Like, woo, now we're switching over to food.
Yeah,
and it looks like some good food.
Topic, too. We have celebrity chef Reilly Meehan. You are!
I don't know about that.
If you have a cookbook, I feel like you're
a big deal.
I'll take it.
You have leather-bound books in your home. I know you do.
I do, definitely.
Leather-bound cookbooks. I can tell.
So, Chef, let's start at the very beginning.
Okay.
How did you get into cooking, and what about it kind of, I guess, piqued your interest?
I literally have pictures of me like on the cutting board with my mom chopping away when I was like 2 years old. So it's just always been something that I've been interested in. My dad actually owned a restaurant in Santa Cruz, California, where I grew up. And literally from the age of like 12, I was in the back in the kitchen like chopping away and stuff. So I don't know, it's just been like an innate, inherent thing in me.
Yeah. And what type of food? Did you grow up cooking and making?
California coastal, lots of like Mexican influence, just like fresh herbs, veggies, seafood. We were on the coast, so like some of the best like crab and seafood ever. But yeah, totally influenced by that.
Now, did you go to culinary school then? So walk us through after you kind of were interested in this. What was your trajectory? How did you get to where you are now?
So I actually was enrolled to go to UC Davis in their food science program, and I, on a whim, entered a cooking competition for high schoolers for a scholarship. And I got second place. So I got this great scholarship for a culinary school in Campbell, California. And I deferred my enrollment. And then I went to culinary school and I was just like, I'm not going to college. Like, I want to do this full time forever. So I went to that culinary school, which was a certificate program, and then moved up to Oregon to finish my degree at a different school up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what is it about cooking that you love? Because I'll speak for myself. There's nothing I dread having to cook.
I know. Everyone always says, like, if you win the lottery, what would you do? I'm like, hire a chef.
Hire a chef.
That takes the most of my time, the most of my money, the most of my patience.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know. For me, it's like, it's my love language. Like, I spend a lot of time in the kitchen and on this really special thing. And then I get to invoke some sort of emotion from somebody. And like, I get to sit there and see somebody love something and be happy and bring joy to people. And yeah, I mean, I hate cooking for myself too. Like, I will have popcorn for dinner. If I'm alone, like, that is my go-to dinner. No joke. No joke.
That's crazy.
Okay, what flavor? Are we doing butter? Are we doing the cheddar?
Okay, you know what? A kind of a chaotic topping I've been using lately?
Go on.
I use the powdered chicken bouillon.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
See,
it's like
that's like something a chef would do.
Yeah, it's like the powder you can use in like your chicken stocks and stuff. So I use that because it's like salty, umami, super rich without being like over the top.
When do you put it on? After popcorn?
Yes,
okay,
pop your popcorn.
Okay.
I do olive oil, popcorn, salt, let it pop. Take it out, let it cool a little bit, and then add your chicken bouillon on top.
Okay,
and so,
try that.
when did this happen? I mean, so all of your years of experience got you to this, but when did this? Like, when did you blow up? When did you become who you are?
I mean, when I was a kid, I would write little like fake cookbooks. So that's like started there. But I really started posting on social media like 4.5 years ago when I took a full-time gig as a private chef. So I went from cooking for like 400, 500 people a night to cooking for one couple. And
hold on. Are you allowed to say who they are?
No, I wouldn't want to.
Okay.
Bummer.
But like, they're great. They're the best. Like, I would.
Mics off. We want some.
I would not.
Behind the scenes.
I would not be a private chef for anyone else.
Okay.
Like, I love them so much. They take such good care of me. They're like my family.
Yeah.
At this point. Gotcha. But yeah, so I just found myself with a lot more downtime, and I started posting when I was out in the Hamptons working for them, like what I was cooking for them, and it pretty quickly took off. But within like 2 years, I had like a really big following, and started to work with an agent to put a book proposal together, and then. Yeah.
And so now you're just a private chef. Like, you don't have a restaurant. You don't have like
I don't have a restaurant. I work full time for this family.
Okay.
I've just started hosting a like pop-up restaurant out of my home. So I do it once a month, and it's like 14 seats. We totally transform my home into like a different world, and have a little pop-up restaurant there.
How much is that?
We do it for free right now. I know. So it's in.
I was gonna say,
I'll put you guys on the invite.
If it's free, we're both there.
I know. Yeah. That's for now. It is. I wanted to just get it off the ground and kind of work some kinks out and see how it goes. But yeah, who knows down the road where it's.
Okay, so that I was watching your social media and you were preparing, but it kind of blows my mind how much you have to prepare for one meal. I mean, can you just walk us through, like, I mean, this is
prep
days for prep. I mean, especially as like I'm a solo one of one, so it's like the menu concepting, the shopping lists, the shopping itself, the organization, the prep, and then I work for that pop-up restaurant. I work with an event producer who does all the design and all, sourcing and everything. So I mean, it's all in all, it's like a 4 or 5 day process for a 2-hour dinner.
Oh my goodness.
Where did the idea? Well, I guess first of all, I want to go back to when you talked about social media and kind of blowing up. What kind of made you want to start posting on social media and showing what you do?
Yeah, I mean, my mantra is always like get as much good food in front of as many people as possible. And I think during COVID, I had so many friends reaching out, being like, "How do I make this?
Yeah.
Show me how to make this." And so I started like a Google Doc of recipes that I would cook for people and be like, "Here, this is how you do this." And it just sort of like felt like a natural progression of like, well, why not throw it online and see if anyone else wants that?
And for your dinners at your house, do you have to book it, or I mean,
right now it's invite only. So we have like a list of either friends or people in the community that we want there, and we invite people.
Got it.
But I do have like a doc available that people can sign up for when and if we go.
Write that down, Ty.
I'll make sure to get you guys on it.
Yes. Email us, text us.
What is your favorite thing? I mean, you kind of mentioned that your dad was a big influence on you, obviously, because he had a restaurant. Do you feel like you're following in his footsteps, or do you like to kind of veer on your own path, or like what?
I do not want to open a restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah, his influence was to show me not to open a restaurant.
And why is that? For people that maybe don't know about the food industry.
I grew up, my dad worked 6 days a week, like his entire, he owned it for 35 years. Wow. It was an institution in our hometown.
It's nonstop.
He worked 6 days a week. I mean, he was very present in my life, but a lot of the stuff happened at the restaurant. We did Thanksgiving at the restaurant. We would go to the restaurant on Christmas and host a potluck, and like a lot of it revolved around the restaurant. So yeah, he influenced me not to want to.
You have to really love what you do. I mean,
absolutely. Yeah.
I heard the restaurant business is.
It can be brutal.
rough.
Yeah, brutal.
Especially here in Phoenix, because you see something pop up and you try it and you're like, oh, that's fantastic. I hope they survive. And then unfortunately, a few days later, a few months later, you see them closing up shop. I can only imagine what a difficult
hard, especially a place like here where it's so seasonal. I mean, maintaining staff year round is really hard, and it's
guests.
I mean,
in the summer, it's
exactly.
Yeah, there's nobody here.
I love the name of your pop-up though, and can you tell us the story behind it?
So it's called Kiko's, and that comes from my parents called me Kiko growing up, and it's from a song by Los Lobos called Kiko and the Lavender Moon. It's this cute, like whimsical kind of song, and I just thought as like a little nod to them.
That is
Kiko's
so
was
fun.
Perfect.
What is your favorite thing to cook?
That's what I was just going to ask.
Oh my gosh,
like
that's
your favorite
impossible.
meal. If somebody
I
said,
love baking bread. I think my clients keep me around just to bake sourdough for them. So,
okay,
add us to the list.
I should have brought you.
We're bread, yes.
Yes.
Like any type of carbohydrate.
Yes,
we're
down. Love baking bread, and I'd say like the flavors I lean on are very like Mexican flavors, also like Southeast Asian. Anything that's like really bright, punchy, vibrant, like that's what I want. Food to like punch you in the face. Nobody's gonna be mad if it does that, but if it's something's under seasoned, you're like, what's the point?
This might be another really difficult question, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but I was going to ask you, what are some of your favorite restaurants to go to? As someone that's like in the know when it comes to culinary expertise.
I take everyone to Sotis.
Oh yeah,
I love Sotis. Right? Yep, love them. I love Chilte, the Mexican restaurant on, is it Grand? I think they're on Grand.
Yes, I think
great spot. And then anything that Sauvage is doing, they always have like such fun little pop-ups. Great wine. Matilda's that just opened up is superb.
I'm gonna have to write all these.
Those are like my go-tos, I would say.
Like, do we just become best friends?
Maybe. Hey, food is such a good community
Me
builder.
and Tyler can be your little tag-along.
Yeah, please.
We can be
Wherever
like
you
your
go.
sous chef.
As long as you get some BTS content.
Yeah, there you go.
Hand me a carrot, I'll chop it right up.
I'm a vegetarian, and you're a recovering vegetarian.
Yeah, I'm in between.
There are so many good veggie recipes in this book. It was there's a whole vegetarian main section on here.
I love that. How do people get your book?
Yeah, so if you're in Phoenix, actually, I'm doing...
We got 15 seconds, I apologize.
Oh gosh, we're doing a book tour at Biltmore Fashion Park, so people can buy tickets at desertdesignweek.com or at chefreillymeehan.com, or literally anywhere. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, wherever.
Chef, thank you. Great to meet you.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
And it is the continuation at 11:30 of Fox 10 Talks. And I believe, Des, as we look at that pic right there, I think it's Honolulu. I think I recognize that old building right down front. And man, I tell you one thing, they have been dealing with the flooding and the intense rains there. It's been pretty rough, that's for sure. Okay, so this is Fox 10 Talks, and coming up here in about 5 minutes, we have Josh Kolsrud, a prominent attorney here in town. There's so many cases to get to. I just feel, Des, like we'll be lucky to get it all done by noon.
Yeah, we can do it, though.
Okay.
All right.
Let's talk a little bit about the big vote that's going to be happening here in just a few hours. The city of Phoenix may decide that that's it for any kind of a holiday ever again in the future, saluting Cesar Chavez. And here's more of what's being said.
Obviously, what we have heard is very, very disturbing. And if an organization, a city, a school wants to remove Cesar Chavez's name, I would respect their decisions.
So the proposal is actually coming from the mayor, Kate Gallego, and multiple members of the Phoenix City Council to rename March 31st as Farm Workers Day and remove the name of Cesar Chavez. And this has to do, of course, with these allegations from many years ago. He died many years ago, as a matter of fact, but these allegations go back quite a long ways of sexual abuse. But the investigation has revealed some really serious allegations. So we're going to keep an eye on it, and we will see exactly how it all unfolds. The other thing, Des, I just thought would be kind of interesting to bring up is that we had a viewer voicemail yesterday regarding everything that's been going on at LaGuardia Airport. And I can tell you that I think people really want answers to make sure something like this never happens again.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've been talking about it for days now. It's unsettling. You know, when your plane touches down, you want to give that sigh of relief. You're glad you made it to the
right?
your destination safely, and then something like this happens. Obviously, this was a one in how many chance of this happening. But yeah, there's a lot of questions on how could this be the case.
One of the things I guess they're looking at is transponders on all vehicles that ever have access to an active runway or a tarmac or that kind of a thing. How this might have prevented that, I'm not quite sure, but it is something I think there'll be changes that come out of this at Sky Harbor and every other one of the major airports.
And are there changes when it comes to how many controllers you have in the tower?
Sure. Two might not have been enough, huh?
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's something they
set of eyes.
Right?
Let's do it. Let's listen to this viewer voicemail.
Hi, I'm Jim. I've been a commercial licensed pilot since 1990. And this aircraft incident, the crash in LaGuardia, it seems as though, yes, 95% of it was the air traffic control, but the other 5% seems to lay on the fire crew that should have looked both ways as well. I don't know how he missed that bright lights of the landing lights of the aircraft coming in, but whatever it is, my condolences go to all of the people involved and their families, and wish the well for the rest of them. Thank you.
Okay, that's the very reason we set it up.
Yeah, I was talking about this case with our photographer, one of our photographers I was with today, Juan, and we were just saying too, just for all of us generally, what also like a very good and harsh, stark reminder of how important it is to wear your seatbelt until you really get up to your gate, the plane is stopped. Just how scary, to think.
Right.
If you had your seatbelt off, because I think a lot of us think, I'm on the ground, I'll just take it off now.
And that is one other aspect.
One little silly, one little thing out of all that. But.
That is one other aspect, which is it's incredible to think that other than the pilots were at the point of impact, nobody else on that aircraft. So I guess number one, we have to assume everybody was wearing their seatbelts. Just the strength of the aircraft to stay as stable as it did when you're going 100 miles an hour and you crash into something like that, and the truck pulled right in front of the plane. I don't know what they could have done, but yeah, there's that aspect to it as well. So, okay, a lot to think about. We have Josh now, and ladies and gentlemen, Josh Kolsrud, prominent attorney here in town. There are so many cases that we want to ask you about.
Can't wait.
Okay, so here's Josh. I'm just going to go down the list of the kind of the way we have it here. There was a cold case arrest in a case that this amazes me. It goes back 40 years in Flagstaff. A Glendale man in this particular case is going to face first-degree murder charges. James Runnels Jr. This has to do with the death of a 24-year-old woman in Flagstaff, as we say, 2 generations ago. 40 years ago, Ina Langstaff in Flagstaff found stabbed to death outside her apartment in November of 1987. And investigators had reached a dead end, but then last year, some new DNA evidence. And I guess it's a situation, Josh, where new technology continues to unfold that can bring these cold cases to light.
Exactly. And, we saw this at the...
I'm just going to move your mic here, Josh.
Sure. We saw this when DNA first came out, when law enforcement primarily relied on fingerprints. And, then over the next 10 to 20 years, cold cases would be solved from the 70s and 80s that could never have been solved without it, with just, the burgeoning of DNA, right? So this is kind of like that because of the new technologies and what these agencies are able to do with DNA. And we saw this in the Brian Kohberger case, for example. Remember, that was the case in Idaho where the guy, killed the 4 women that were living, including somebody from the valley, and they were able to discover him through a new technique called genetic genealogy DNA analysis. And we don't know yet which advanced technique that the lab that Coconino County is used. It hasn't been disclosed, but it's certainly exciting for the victims in the case. Now, remember, DNA is just circumstantial evidence. It doesn't tell you why the DNA is there.
Can a good attorney get it thrown out?
Well, it depends. Yeah, so there could be issues with the DNA because if it wasn't handled properly, or there were breaks in the chain of looking at the evidence, like every time you check out the evidence, you're supposed to write your initials on it. Every time that you put it back, you write your initials on it. If there's any break in the chain of custody, that certainly can pose problems. Also, DNA, if it's not stored properly, can degrade over time. And so there's certainly going to be arguments about the fail rate of this new DNA technique. So what prosecutors need to do is, I think the DNA that Coconino County is going to allege shows that this person was at the scene of the crime. But they're going to have to show through other circumstantial evidence, unless there's an admission, that he was the one that committed the murder. And after 40 years, witnesses disappear, memories fade. It's going to be a tough case regardless of this development.
Well, and we always point out, innocent till proven guilty, but it is an interesting development for sure. Okay, should we go on to our next one?
Yeah, we got a few to get through. So the next case, and we've talked about it briefly, I think the last time you were on, this Cunningham case here. So it's a murder trial involving the death of a young child, the daughter of this former Phoenix police detective, and his wife. And, this trial already started. So the jury is seated. They've heard the evidence in this case. How rare is it in a situation like this? Now we're seeing 2 people that are facing first-degree murder charges being released. Just lay out this case and what that says about the issues with the evidence. Yeah.
What's happening is unprecedented in this state. And it's unprecedented for a variety of reasons. Number one, a judge doesn't typically release 2 first-degree murder inmates in the middle of trial who are facing the rest of their lives in prison. for no reason, right? And to me, that foreshadows what's going to happen, which is the judge is going to dismiss the case. Now, the question is going to be whether it's with prejudice or without prejudice.
And the difference there is what?
The difference is if it's without prejudice, the prosecution can refile charges at a later date. Now, the bigger story, and it's hard to say that it's bigger because this is pretty big, is what's happening at the Goodyear City Police Department. What is alleged is that they've been using this software that has a lot of vulnerabilities, including having unaccounted for chain of custody issues, and people can input data without knowing who those people are, and it really questions or can create questions about chain of custody, but also the reliability of evidence. So every single case that has any type of chain of custody issue is going to have to be reevaluated. So inmates that have been sentenced to prison or took plea agreements because they believe that the evidence, the strength of the evidence was at a certain degree, they're going to be challenging these cases on appeal. People that went to trial that didn't know about these issues are going to be appealing it because the evidence could have been challenged in court and it wasn't. This is a huge story, and it's going to cause huge civil lawsuits, and it's going to fill up the appellate docket for probably 10 years.
So you have, that bigger aspect of it, what was going on at Goodyear Police Department and the evidence and the systems they were using. But how likely do you think in this case that the judge will dismiss this case with prejudice?
So that's a tougher question because the judge has to rule whether or not the prosecution really was aware of the problem and didn't disclose it. And it doesn't look like the prosecution was aware of the problem. They disclosed it the same night that they found out about it. And so I don't think there's going to be any allegation of prosecutorial misconduct. And because of that, I don't think it's going to be dismissed with prejudice.
Okay, we'll take a break and be back. By the way, we do have a mystery cam. Oh, yeah. Where are those trees?
Where is this?
Boy, oh boy, Des. If anybody gets this one right,
Where
I'm
are
gonna
those
be impressed.
dead trees, you guys?
Yeah, right? I'm just looking at
There's
that. That's
no guesses in the chat right now.
Yeah, well, it's exactly what I was thinking, which is they're just a few little buds.
Yeah, purple.
Coming
Really
out.
pretty, soft purple.
And I feel like in the South, we're like a week away from the Masters at Augusta National, and I mean the flowers are popping way more than that. So it's got to be a little bit further north, but not so cold that it would be like New England, right? This is my thought process. So I don't think it's Buffalo.
Okay.
I also don't think it's Tucson.
Yeah, no.
Let's see. Low Philosophy is saying, I think it could be Utah. That's not a bad guess.
Okay.
I'm going to go more kind of midsection of the country, though, and say that I could see it being like an Iowa or a Missouri. Oh, look, Linda Monterth just guessed Missouri. Okay, Linda, I'm going to go with you out there in the beautiful Gila Valley. What do you think, Des?
I know. I was trying to look at that bridge. I'm like, is it just a walking bridge? Are there any cars passing? It doesn't look like it. It looks like there is someone walking. It's pretty windy,
yes,
too.
right.
I don't know.
Tough. Brandon says New Mexico.
Honestly, Louisiana, and I don't know why. Just throwing out a random state.
All right. Here she is with your answer, everybody.
Josh, do you want a quick guess?
Oh, Josh?
Pennsylvania. I'm guessing Pennsylvania.
Okay,
Pennsylvania.
It's a big state.
I forget. Josh likes to guess on these, right?
Okay,
here we go.
Oh, okay. It's Tulsa.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Living on Tulsa time,
okay.
are we?
You know, you were closest.
We need to start. That needs to be the new thing.
Right. Yeah.
Closest without going over the state.
Yeah, there you go.
It wouldn't have worked if I had been like in Alabama or something. All right. Anyway, big headline coming in. Since we started this morning at 10 a.m. with Fox 10 Talks, is this verdict that came in on the social media trial, where a young lady said that the social media platforms that she had been on caused her great harm, and that she wanted a judgment from the jury, and it sounds like they awarded her $3 million. Josh, the question now is, are we going to see a lot of people come forward with claims like that?
Oh, yes. And, as of this morning, the California docket already has 1,600 cases with similar allegations waiting for their own jury trials. So this is a bellwether case, and Facebook took it so seriously that they had their CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, testify, which doesn't ordinarily happen in these types of cases. So it is going to open the floodgates to these types of lawsuits. But, it's kind of a good thing, too. Mark Zuckerberg did say when he was on the witness stand that he had hoped that there would be some sort of legislation on these issues so they didn't run into these problems. Now, lawsuits sometimes work faster than legislation. And because once this verdict came out, that's the new law. I mean, that's the precedent. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody who has ever had a problem with Facebook or Instagram or any of their affiliates get to, file a lawsuit. You still have to show that the Facebook or Instagram platform was really the direct cause of your harm. So in this case, it was severe depression because they were able to show that prior to her being allowed to be on Instagram, she was just a normal kid, and then soon after she became very depressed very fast. And that nexus between using Instagram 5 or 6, 7 hours a day even was a direct result. And but for her use of Instagram at that young age for that period of time, that it wouldn't have happened. That's what that verdict means.
Now, for folks not following this case closely, I don't think everybody knows every detail. What was Meta's defense? Do they point and say, well, how's it our fault? Parents' fault. The parents gave her access to the phone that allowed access to the platform.
So what they want to do is show that there were other intervening causes that contributed just as significantly to this young girl's depression, and that it's impossible to say that Meta and Facebook and Instagram was really solely responsible, basically, for this young lady's suffering and depression, including, there is a certain level of choice from the parents who maybe should have known better not to allow your child to have access to that type of social media that early on. In other cases, they may bring up that, the children may have been depressed prior to this, and that, or maybe there was, a divorce in the life of a child. So it's very case specific. And you do have to show that basically the child was normal prior to having full-scale access to the Meta platforms, and only after access and daily use did those negative consequences really start to happen, like the suffering, the depression, the mental episodes that were directly caused in this case.
Hefty penalty in this case, too.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, it's a drop in the bucket for Facebook.
Sure.
But it certainly sets a precedent. And I don't think Facebook was worried about the monetary verdict. I think they were worried about the precedent more than anything, which is why other platforms like TikTok and others, they settled because they didn't want a precedent to go forward to allow these types of lawsuits, because typically these platforms are immune from lawsuits like this. And what happened here was a verdict that says that you're not immune, that you're not just a public square, because you are enabling these addictive behaviors.
Well, especially with the algorithm.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, it's used and maintained to continue engagement for as long as possible. And they brought up things like the endless scrolls, like, you keep looking and looking and looking for the next story. And the notifications, that was another big thing. And these companies, these platforms, social media companies, go to the same exact seminars that gambling companies go to keep people in the casino. And it's the same psychology to keep people engaged on these platforms.
Wow. Okay. There is what to me is a fascinating big case at the U.S. Supreme Court. And it has to do with whether or not states that allow ballots to continue to be counted if they come into the election office after Election Day. They heard it earlier this week, and a lot of people have the mail-in ballots, and sometimes we're over here just trying to, cover the news and the stories that are breaking, and we're like, when is California ever going to get all their ballots counted? I joke a little bit about it, but it seems like there may be some changes coming. What's your read on the case that just a couple of days ago was in front of the U.S. Supreme Court?
This is a really interesting case. There are between 14 and 16 states that allow ballots to come in after the first Monday and the Tuesday after that, which is Election Tuesday, to still count in an election. Arizona is not one of those states. And it's actually a bipartisan issue. You have both Republican governors and Democratic governors that support the mail-in ballots after the election has closed. So this isn't necessarily a partisan issue. Now, what the Supreme Court is really going to decide is whether states have the authority to affect a federal election by allowing, like Mississippi was doing, mail-in ballots to arrive 5 days after the election has ended for everybody else, as long as it was postmark stamped by the day of the election. And the Constitution allows states really to govern how the election process happens, time, date, location, that kind of thing. Maybe not date, but because it's always the first Tuesday after the first Monday. But here the government is saying that, well, actually, it's the opponents are saying that it's overbroad and there's too many ways that the system can be taken advantage by. So let's say that the day after the election, you find out that one of the candidates was a traitor. He sold secrets to China. Wow. And you mailed in your ballot and you're able to withdraw the ballot and then vote for the other guy or other girl. You, in essence, can do that in Mississippi. And so you're actually voting after the last day of the election, which is, the first Tuesday after the first Monday. So the Supreme Court justices were asking extreme hypotheticals like that. And, I think that the way the questions were being asked before the Supreme Court, I think that they're going to rule narrowly that states can no longer do this. Now,
it has to be into the recorder's office by election day.
Yeah,
that would be
just like Arizona.
Yeah.
So Arizona, mail-in ballots and in-person ballots, it has to be in by that first Tuesday after the first Monday. And no exceptions. And if this becomes the law, it's going to change the election system for at least 14 to 16 other states and the District of Columbia. And they have to get this all done by midterm elections this year. And we expect a ruling to come out sometime in June.
Wow.
So that could, how does that change what voting looks like then?
Yeah,
right. Run into a pretty close deadline
for sure.
there.
Yeah. All right. Josh, we're already out of time. We have a commercial break coming up. We have the noon news. Oh, and we have just 30 seconds to share this crazy video from Des. This is quite amazing. Josh, thank you so much.
Thanks, Josh.
By the way, would you want to represent this guy if his truck fell through the ice?
Ooh.
This is quite amazing. It's in Minnesota where they've had one wallop of a winter, but the video shows the guy driving the truck. Apparently, there's a foot of water on top of a frozen lake. And despite the recent warm weather, this guy's proving you can still drive all over this. It seems iffy to me, Des.
I said, this guy must be rich. Are you not even worried about your truck, ending up in the lake?
This could be the normal practice for that area in the States. So, maybe it's not negligence.
There you go.
Well, Josh with a legal answer.
We'll bring Josh back for more perspective on this one later. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody.
We'll see you tomorrow.